All right, let's talk about something huge. Today, we're going to completely transform the way you think about those big life advancements. We're not just talking about getting lucky, we're talking about building a blueprint to actually engineer your very own personal breakthrough.
I mean, have you ever felt this? You're putting in the work, you're doing everything you're supposed to, but it seems like everyone else is catching these lucky breaks. It's so easy to feel stuck, just waiting for your turn, for your moment to finally show up. But here's the secret, the real game changer. That big break you're waiting for, it's not something you just find lying on the sidewalk. It's something you build. You actually engineer it piece by piece. And that means shifting from being a passive waiter to an active creator.
Okay, so where do we even begin with this? Well, it all starts with a fundamental skill, learning how to spot the opportunities that are basically hiding in plain sight all around us.
Yeah, the thing is, big breaks almost never show up like a big, flashy announcement. They're not some obvious job ad. No, they start as whispers, a tiny shift in your industry, a random conversation you have, an unexpected connection. The real skill is learning to tune your radar to pick up on these really quiet signals.
So this really begs the question, right? How receptive are you? Just take a second and be honest with yourself. Are you actually out there looking for possibilities, or are you just kind of going through the motions? When a challenge pops up, do you see a dead end or do you see a doorway? And are you really truly open to that random coffee meeting that could change everything? Your receptiveness is step one.
But hearing these whispers isn't just about what's happening out there. So much of it is about what's happening in here. You need the right internal framework. It is all about building the right mindset. And that leads us to this really powerful idea, the opportunity magnet mindset. Think of it like this. It's your own personal engine for growth. It's a state of active attraction. You're not just waiting for good things to fall into your lap. You're actively reframing challenges and developing this almost intuitive breakthrough radar that just knows what's going to help you grow. And look, the difference between these two mindsets, it's night and day. On one side, you've got passive waiting. You're hoping for luck, you're just reacting to things, you see roadblocks everywhere. But on the other side, you've got active attraction. You're creating your own luck. You're actively seeking opportunities, and you see gateways where everyone else sees a wall. This shift is everything. So how do you actually build this radar? Well, it all comes down to selective focus. Once you get crystal clear on the breakthrough you really want, it's like putting on a new pair of glasses. All the noise just fades into the background, and suddenly the right conversations, the right articles, the right people, they just seem to pop out at you. It's not magic, it's just focused attention. Okay, so we've got the mindset down. That's the why. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the how. It's time to look at the concrete steps you can take to literally engineer your own luck. And there's a super simple but powerful plan to activate any opportunity. Step 1, you identify a potential break based on those whispers you're now listening for. Step 2, you don't just jump in head first. You test it with a small, low-risk micro-experiment. And finally, step 3, based on what you learn, you either pivot or you pursue it with everything you've got. These micro-experiments, they're really the secret sauce here. Instead of making some huge, terrifying leap, you just take these tiny, consistent actions. Send one email, sign up for one workshop, have one conversation. It might not feel like much, but these little things start to build on each other, creating this incredible snowball effect that leads to massive results down the line. And this same idea applies to how we connect with people. Forget about just collecting business cards. That's old news. The real magic happens when you build genuine connections. Focus on value. How can you help them? What can you learn from them? That kind of authentic relationship, that's what unlocks doors you never even knew existed. All right, so you're in motion, you're trying things out, but let's be real. It's not always going to be a smooth ride, right? This last part is all about creating a long-term blueprint for dealing with the inevitable challenges, and most importantly, keeping that momentum going. Let me be perfectly clear about this. You are going to hit roadblocks. It's going to happen. You'll have moments of self-doubt, you'll hear the word no, you'll face obstacles. You have to accept that. These are not signs that you're failing, they're just part of the process. In fact, they're not roadblocks at all. They're data that helps you get better. And this is where you have to master the art of the pivot. So when do you push through and when do you change course? It's actually pretty simple. If your efforts are getting you absolutely nowhere or a much better opportunity shows up, that's your cue to adjust. But if you're seeing even the smallest signs of progress and that goal still gets you excited, that's when you double down.
So once you get that breakthrough, how do you make it last? It's all about building systems that keep that fire going. Create routines for yourself, like setting aside time each week just for learning. Always stay curious, always be adaptable. And this one's big, document your journey. Seriously, looking back at how far you've come is some of the most powerful fuel you'll ever find.
See, in the end, this whole thing isn't about chasing one magical one-off breakthrough. The real goal is to get so good at this process that you build a whole portfolio of breakthroughs. You create a life where growth isn't some rare event, but it's just what you do. It's a continuous, exciting part of your story.
So there you have it. That's the blueprint. You have the mindset, you have the strategy, you have the tools. Now, the only question that really matters is, what are you going to build first?